I'm trying to think of some words. You have the largest network of legal services across Fiji, which means you have a number of challenges. You, of course, have a number of opportunities to be able to provide the type of services that no other law firm, that no other legal outfit can actually provide. You, of course, your funding has been increased exponentially by the government in the past few years. In excess of over $5 million is allocated to Legal Aid Commission now. And primarily, the reason why legal aid commissions are actually set up throughout the world, countries that do have them, is to give people access to legal services, legal advice, legal options they would not otherwise have because they do not necessarily have the right resources, the right amount of resources. So you have to understand your clientele base is very important. We now have a director on the Legal Aid Commission who actually comes from a category of people or organizations that has never been represented on the Legal Aid Commission before. We've never had a director from the Disabled Association Group or any others related entities. So what we have done over the past number of years is actually opened up the Legal Aid Commission to as many Fijians as possible, both philosophically, at a practical level, at an administrative management, and at a board level also. So all in all, we are playing a very pivotal role in respect of carrying out government's objectives. And you are run independently through the board. We simply facilitate the funding. You have a board that sets the direction. And in alignment with the Fijian Constitution, you are then supposed to offer those services on a daily basis. Ladies and gentlemen, you play a very important role. You may not be lawyers, but you still are an integral part of the organization. So you may go on to become lawyers. But as you also know, that not being a lawyer does not mean that you are any less than anybody else in the organization. I'd like you to please know that and understand that. But of course, without your support, the lawyers won't be able to do their functions. And in many instances, you are the face of the organization. You are the first people that the actual clients, when they're walking through the doors, they actually see you. You are the ones that actually can determine the reputation or otherwise of Legal Aid Commission. If you talk to them in a manner that is appropriate, a manner that is professional, and a manner that is compassionate, then you will further the cause of Legal Aid Commission. If you do to the contrary, then of course you will bring the organization into disrepute. But more importantly than that, you can actually shatter the hopes and aspirations of that person walking through the door. Because many a times, there are many people who actually have, for example, got in touch with us directly through text messages or phone calls, and they're very desperate. Some of them may have a land issue. Some of them may have a domestic issue. Somebody's about to be evicted tomorrow. There may be numerous other personal matters. And simply sometimes they want somebody to be able to lend them the ear. And you are able to listen to them. Sometimes, of course, what they want, what they would like done, is completely outside the scope of your organization. Completely outside the scope of your mandate. But you still must give them that particular level of attention and treatment and give them an avenue through which perhaps they can address that particular matter. May not be your organization, could be some other organization. So what that requires you to do is to be resourceful. It requires you to be up to date with administrative changes in government, administrative changes overall in the country. So you may be able to say, look, Legal Aid Commission cannot help you in this particular instance, but I can refer you to this organization that may be able to. And by the way, this is their phone number. Or by the way, look, we can write something for you, and you can go to this organization. A letter on your letterhead could open up doors for these people. We're asking you to get into areas where you do not have the mandate, or you do not necessarily have the ability to tell somebody or direct somebody to do something, but it's a way of assisting them. Of assisting that organization to assist these individuals that may walk through the door. So you play a very critical role. And I'm also glad that the Legal Aid Commission over the past few years actually has been hosting this particular event for you. All of the non-lawyers together. And I understand also you'll be having a joint gathering together with the professionals. But they also need to recognize the issues that you may have with the clients. Sometimes, they deal with simply the legal matters, they do not deal with the day-to-day issues that you may have to deal with. They need to appreciate that. You also need to appreciate some of the challenges that they may have in court, or, for example, writing up opinions, etc. The Legal Aid Commission, of course, has, now gone into a number of areas. You do family law, you do criminal law, you do civil law. You help people with bills, you help people with probates, etc. This is an expansion of the roles of the Legal Aid Commission, but a necessary expansion. As you also know, we had spoken to your board, and we've asked them to also get your offices to help people with land matters. As you know, that a lot of these matters come up in Lambasa, in Honolulu. Who's from Lambasa? Anybody from Honolulu? I'm sure you know about it. And of course, some in the Western Division too. Now, this is you need to appreciate, for example, if someone is about to be evicted, and you're able to provide them a particular level of comfort, imagine the praises, the blessings, whatever you will get from those family members. It can be very self-satisfying. And that's the level at which you operate. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this gathering, the Legal Aid Commission, of course, has done this to provide a specific focus for you to ensure that you are service-oriented. And I'm sure that you may have also raised issues with the board, with your management, as to some of the challenges you may face and how best you can do your work better. And overall, I think, for the next number of years, given that you've reached now the first and the second phase of the Legal Aid Commission that Brown Work has been doing, we now need to go on to the next stage of a particular sophisticated level of service delivery. And this, of course, will require a lot more adoption of technology, the use of technology in terms of the case management systems, the ability to share information between the offices on a regular basis. I've seen a number of organizations, even at political levels, at administrative levels, in numerous case histories. Sometimes people work in the same organization, but if they do not share information, they're not able to communicate well. Sometimes even within the same office, you can have enormous problems. And of course, now you have a network of offices. So you should be able to communicate with each other across all the offices. There may be certain matters that may be, for example, peculiar, you may think to Nosori. There may be a similar issue in Davini, or maybe Mombasa, or Rotuma, whatever the case may be. And that sharing of information is very, very critical. I do not want to make a very long speech. I know it's the last session, so normally the person who speaks last is a very tough time. I'm sure you're going to have a break and enjoy the wonderful weather and the wonderful beach over here. But the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, and I just wanted to highlight to you that you play a very critical role. Please take your jobs very seriously, but also at the same time enjoy your job. There are, of course, numerous career paths in the administrative side of what you're doing. Read constantly. Be aware of what is happening around you. Be aware of what is happening not only in your town, but in your country. For example, we are providing some additional services, like the first home buyer grant, the purchase of land, that government is giving various grants to. Some of you may be recipients of that yourself. But people are actually coming out with a lot of hope. I was just this morning, somebody met me, and they said, look, we've actually put in our application, and we have not heard back for the past 2 months. Can you please tell me what is happening? They're very anxious. This is the first block of land they're about to buy, husband and wife. It's emotionally very, dear to them. So if you are able to help to facilitate that, when somebody fills out the application, it may be a big deal for them to walk in through the door to fill out that application and actually give it to you. The entire future hopes may be dependent on that application. And if you're able to assist them to, for example, even fill out the form, then you're changing their lives completely. You give them a wonderful experience. And the best way to always deal with such situations, I always believe as a personal motto, is that you always put yourself in their shoes. Always put yourself yourself in their shoes. How would you like to be treated if, for example, if you walked into an office and had to fill out a form and your hopes and aspirations of yourself, your husband, your wife, your children is completely dependent on that? I think that will bring home the point. So please, I want to thank you first of all for the hard work you're doing. Like I said, you're a large team of people. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for your perseverance and also the growth with the organization. Please remember that you're a very important role. Government is very keen to continue to fund this particular organization in a manner that will ensure that you can deliver your services professionally, in time, and then be able to reach out to the client base that you're supposed to, as per the Constitution. And I also want to urge you at a personal level, please always continue to develop yourselves. A lot of people come to work 8 to 4 or 8 to 5, whatever the case may be, but they don't necessarily go out and read additional material. It's fun to do that actually. So it's good to have a lot of information. When somebody walks in through the door, it may not be specific to that particular job that you're doing, but if you have extra knowledge, you can actually have a conversation with them. If you have a lady who may be working in the garment industry, and then she walks in to fill out the form or make an application, if you strike up a conversation with her, something about the garment industry, some changes or that's happened, whatever the case may be, you actually put them at ease. And it's always important to always talk about the other person. Don't always talk about yourself. It puts people at ease. When people get to speak about themselves, in particular people who may not necessarily always get opportunities to speak about themselves, they'll feel empowered. They'll feel extremely empowered. So this lady working at Legal Aid Commission spoke to me so nicely. She asked me about my job, or this gentleman, whatever the case may be. I want to take this opportunity to thank the Chair of the Legal Aid Commission, the Solicitor General, for his input, the various directors, including the Chief Registrar, and of course our new director, and your Legal Aid Office, Legal Aid Services Commission Director, Legal Aid Commission Director, Shaheen. I must say that I ring him at very odd hours, trying to get feedback. When people ring me at odd hours, I ring him at odd hours. I'm trying to get feedback as to what is happening. So thank you once again for your wonderful work. Please continue to grow yourself professionally, enjoy your job, and please remember you provide a wonderful service to all refugees in Fiji. No, thank you.